Do I look as gross as I feel? I'm gonna throw dinner together. You guys know how I love to throw like the protein in the crock pot, and then when it's closer to dinner time, it's witching hour. There's like a million things happening. Homework, kids are home from school, after school activities, the baby's usually crying, the toddler's gnawing at my feet, and I'm like, how do I even finish dinner? So that's why I like to do most of the work, or at least cut it in half. In the morning, at this case afternoon, just got back from the gym, and that's the reason for my appearance. So I really need to get this in. I'm going to make Cuban melt. I looked at a few different recipes. They all have very similar ingredients, mostly because, oh, by the way, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I am going to be sharing with you a week of dinners, what's for dinner, dinner inspiration, dinner ideas, dinner for your family. It's gonna be a good time, always delicious. Hopefully always delicious. I feel like they're always delicious, okay? Anyway, I looked up a couple different recipes because initially the recipe calls for orange juice. I don't have orange juice, I have pineapple juice, so I was looking around, hey, does anyone substitute pineapple juice? I would, but then I found these mandarins, so I'm just gonna get as much juice out of those as I can, and just a few different more ingredients, and we have a meal. That's all it takes, just a few ingredients, you throw crap together, and then you can eat it. And if it's not good, you can try again tomorrow night. Tonight will be good. And I'm going to make a Cuban melt. So I have some pork thawing out. I'm gonna mix all the rest of the ingredients into the slow cooker, let it sit for the remainder of the day. I'll probably crank it on high today because usually I get this crap in at like 8, but the morning and afternoon got away from me. It's not quite afternoon yet, which, by the way, okay, totally off topic. The short story long, if you will, I call afternoon, like I start afternoon at 11, and Alex is very strict. He's like, afternoon means after noon. But for me, I'm like, it's an afternoon. It's like saying evening. There's no time. All right, anyway. Oh gosh, I just slipped. I got these pork loins. They've been in my freezer. I knew I saw a knife. They've been in my freezer. What's the date on this? I'm a little scared to look, if I'm being honest. Okay, it's 2022. Oh, could be worse. Oh, this is September. This is basically new. I've been trying to clean out, you know, my freezers to just, you know, replenish what we have and go through what we have. I think this is the last pork loin, so I thought it was gonna be from like 2020. Which really, you should only keep meat in your freezer for like 6 months anyway. Is that what they say? Because I don't follow that rule. Wolfgang is almost 5 months, and that's the same goes for this. All right, let's get this crap in the crock. First, we have to do a little mise en place. You don't have to. I am going to add an onion and some garlic, and then the juice of some citrus, because I believe adding citrus to any dish just elevates it. And the same goes for any kind of fresh ingredients. So if you don't have the time, or if you don't have fresh garlic, like use powdered garlic, and I'm sure it'll be just fine. But I have real garlic, so I'm gonna take the time because I love my family so much. So the onion first, and I'm just giving it a nice dice. And then the garlic, which already seems to be trying to grow away from me. Cute. Just a few cloves. I'll probably do like 5, maybe 6. I like even numbers. And then mince the garlic up too. Okay, so check it out. Pretty easy ingredients. We've got garlic, onion. I have Italian seasoning. It calls for, I think, oregano, but like use what you have, you know what I mean? This is oregano plus some, so I figure it's more is better. More is more. Paprika, cumin, limes. I might add a lime or 2, orange juice, and then the pork loin. I'm gonna add the fresh stuff in, the garlic and the onion. And you know, I'm not really sure how to juice a mandarin orange or how much juice it will yield. So I guess we're gonna find out together. All right, decent. If you have some OJ in the fridge, oh, it squirted right in my face. I'm sure OJ from the fridge would work better than this, but it's just like Ina Garten says, you know, fresh is best. I actually don't know if she says that, but it sounds like something she would say. Actually, she would say store-bought is fine. Next up is limes, and I just give them a nice roll on the counter. I put all my weight into it. You could throw, oh my gosh, just the oils off of the lemon rind. Oh, gives so much scent off. You could throw these in the microwave just to get the insides all squished up so it yields the most amount of juice. Man, there's something special about limes, isn't there? So I'm going to throw the juice of 3 limes in here. More limes, less orange. That's what I always say. Well, if that didn't wake the baby up, I don't know what will. All right, I'm just gonna add a little bit of Italian seasoning in here. Paprika, a little splash of that. Some cumin, love this. Gotta pump that up. Need to unwind this, there we go. Just a good sprinkle of that. There's a little bit of salt going in and pepper. And the baby's awake, hey! And you know what, for fun, I'm going to throw in a bay leaf. Okay, just a big one so I can take it out later. All right, I'm just gonna give this as much of a mix as possible, but you know, not much can happen. Okay, here come the hands. Here we go, just do this. Better than washing a bowl, I think. All right, and that looks great. I'm gonna throw mine low and slow. Actually, nope, high and awesome for 6 hours. Probably high for 3, and then I'll chop it down to low. All right, here's the pork. Even though my crock pot has been on and off all day, I don't know what the heck, like power on off, I don't know what the heck is happening, but it looks to be done and it's peeling really nicely, so I feel like it's been cooked long enough. And this is one of the reasons why I love pork loins, because it's just so simple, right? Different seasonings can make it so versatile. So I'm just gonna shred this up and then, you know, mix it in with all the juices down here. And then I'll assemble the Sammies. Here's the pork, looking good. I have my loaf of Cuban bread over here, and then pickles, mustard, and ham. I'm gonna cut the loaf and deal with it. I actually have like individual sandwiches too, but I'm going to fill this up. I just don't think it's going to fill my family up, so I bought the individual ones. It might fill my family up, I don't know. No side dishes, I am making sweet potatoes. Now I'm going to add the mustard, and then I'm gonna throw some pickles on here. I like a lot of pickles. Now I'm gonna throw the shredded pork on here. Now I'm gonna top the pork with some more pork, cold pork from my fridge. This is sweet ham and it looks real dang good. Just a few slices right on top. I have provolone, I'm throwing this on. You can do Swiss cheese too. Now I'm gonna throw this beauty in the oven. I'm gonna put it on broil just until the ham is like warm and the cheese is melted. Okay, here's the good stuff. I realized I could have split it in 2 and then made 2 separate ones, but I just made one big one, so we'll get long skinny rectangles instead of like a square. Well, that's real loud. Trying to calm the baby. I told you it's witching hour. The pork isn't my favorite, but the combination is fantastic. So I'm ready to eat. A bon appetit. Surprisingly, this whole loaf did feed my family. So there's that. It was delicious, crowd pleaser, simple to throw together, and we had a little bit of leftover pork to throw on some rice for the next day lunch. What time is it? Dinner time. High School Musical, anyone? Okay, tonight for dinner, I'm gonna start whipping it up. First thing, what am I making, I guess you wanna know. I'm just ready to get the action going. Been holding the baby all day and he's finally off of me. I have about 10 minutes to whip this dinner together. It's one of my qualifications for dinner. It has to be quick. What was that? I'm going to be making shrimp pad thai. You can change out the protein. You can make it with beef. You can make it with chicken. Chicken is my favorite. Pad thai is one of my all-time favorite things to eat. I don't know what this is. That's how it makes me feel. I just want to shove it all in. I want a portion that's this large, and that's what we're gonna make today. I have pad thai rice noodles. I've had these. Did these expire? Because I've had them for a really long time. Oh, they're expired. That's okay, we won't tell anyone. We have to soak these, that's how you do it. So I have a bread pan right here, and I am just going to open the noodles. Okay, no I'm not. I thought you just soak the noodles, but you boil them. Okay. Okay, just kidding. We're gonna boil the noodles. But first I'm gonna throw them in this really fancy pan because we're fancy over here. And really you can throw anything in the pad thai that you want, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna throw into it and then the sauce. here's the packaging. I'm sure, I don't know. I find them in the international food section in the grocery store. Sometimes I don't know where to find stuff, so that's where it is. Red bell peppers, love these. You can do any vegetable that you want. Throw in broccoli, green beans, I don't care. I just have red bell peppers, love those. Gives it a nice flavor. And then I have limes, garlic, cilantro to top it off with, also peanuts to top it off with. I only have honey roasted. I feel like it's gonna be fine. It gives it a nice crunch, a nice texture, a nice mouth feel, if you will, using all the words from Cordon Bleu. And then I have the stuff to make the sauce. I know they sell in the grocery store that you can buy like pad thai sauce pre-made, but why buy it pre-made for like $4 when you can buy all the ingredients to make the sauce for like 25 bucks, okay? But as you can see, these are ingredients that I often have on hand. This is just replenishing, and my kids actually like this sweet chili sauce just on rice alone. So I like to have this in the fridge. So the sauce, you need sweet chili sauce, rice wine vinegar, cocoa aminos or soy sauce. I've got some fish sauce and brown sugar. What's missing are bean sprouts. They don't sell those at my local grocery store. And then also if you want to add tamarind paste, that's a good one. But it's such a specialty ingredient. I would only use it when I'm making this, so I don't have it on hand. So I'm gonna start whipping this crap up. So apparently we need to boil the noodles. I'm gonna get some water boiled on the stovetop. While that's coming to a boil, I'm going to prep the sauce, and I'm gonna get about, I don't know, half a cup of brown sugar packed, about a quarter cup of rice wine vinegar, about a quarter cup of cocoa aminos. I'm just gonna do whatever I have left in this bottle. About 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. So fish sauce is kind of crazy, but it adds so much depth to the dish. So don't leave it out just because it smells weird, okay? And then my all-time favorite, I'm going to add a few tablespoons or more of the sweet chili sauce. That was probably at least a quarter cup, maybe a third. But it's all good. And then I'm gonna grab a couple of limes and add some lime juice in here. I just roll the limes first to get the juices flowing on the insides so that they could flow on the outsides. You guys know me, fresh citrus always elevates a dish, and herbs. So whenever I have a chance to add them in, I'm definitely gonna do that. I also have shrimp over here. Forgot to mention that. I'm just thawing it out in the sink. It thaws out pretty quickly. This is cold water. I'm just gonna give this a whisk and set it aside. Then I'm gonna do some chippity chopping. Oh wait, you know what I saw? Like the proper way. Everyone has their own way to do a bell pepper, you know? I saw someone just punch it, ooh, and then just rip it apart like the barbarians that we are. I don't know why that was any better than just cutting it with a knife. I don't know, you know, people on Instagram, they're trying to be innovative and all that. No difference here. I'm just gonna cut mine in slices, julienne, and then I'm gonna cut them in half just so they're more, I don't know, better for your mouth, like more sizable. But you can cut them however you want. Dice it, slice it. Once all the peppers are cut, I'm gonna grab my garlic, and I just like to cut the butt off, the root here, and that's the easiest way. Why are all my garlic pieces lately like itty bitty meeny meeny? But that's the easiest way to, you know, get to your garlic. And since they're so small, I'm gonna do about 8 cloves, and I just smash it, and then the outer paper layer comes off, and then I can cut that part. So smash it and trash it, and then mince it. It's a new take on the bend and snap. Now that the water is boiling, I'm going to throw the rice noodles in there. Let these cook per the package instructions for 5 minutes. All right, I'm gonna drain the noodles after 5 minutes, and, oh, that's not very many noodles. Give them a rinse, just to get the starch off of them. Just a little rinse. Then back to the stove. You can do this at the same time. For time's sake, I'm gonna throw a little oil onto a pan. You know what, I feel like an onion would be a good addition to this, but I didn't cut one up. I'm gonna cook these peppers up, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt, because I like to season every layer, a little bit of pepper, and then let these cook down for a few minutes. While those are cooking up, this just looks so pretty. I am going to chop up some cilantro. I would probably do more than this. I don't know, I grabbed 2 big handfuls and I'm just going to chop it up. This is an integral flavor profile for the dish. I know some people don't like it, leave it out. Substitute a different herb, I don't care, Italian seasoning even, probably would taste weird. But do it if that's what you wanna do. I'm gonna do cilantro. Now that the pepper is cooked, I'm going to throw in the garlic and then mix that in, let that cook down 30 seconds until it's fragrant. The best part, add the protein, cook that up. I have 1.5 pounds of uncooked, so raw, deveined, detailed, detangled, I don't know what it is. It's good to go, okay? Didn't have to prep it, just thought it out. And just cook the oh, you know what? I need to season. I need a little bit of salt on here. A little bit of pepper. Red pepper flakes would be great addition to this too, but you know, I have little ones. Shrimp is actually Wentworth's favorite dish. I get a lot of questions. How do you get your kids to eat it? I don't know. But also, we have guests over tonight, and I am making noodles, okay? So I do aim to please. Bon appetit! In the meantime, I'm gonna work on the second most expensive protein in the dish, or maybe the first. I'm going to add about 5 eggs, whisk these up, maybe 6 eggs, I don't know, I like more, you know? I'm gonna give these a nice whipping. I just realized I had my stove on low. I was like, they cook up fast, but it's taken them quite a while today. So yeah, if you see them, like this one, it kind of curled into itself, that's when they're done. And you don't want to overcook shrimp because then they just get really chewy. And it's really easy to overcook them. That's why it's not my favorite. I already have a dirty pot. I'm gonna throw all of this into the pot I boiled the noodles in and just set it aside. Ooh, a little overflow. And I'm gonna pour the eggs in here and just cook those up. But if you have a bigger pot or whatever, just push the crap to the side and cook this in the middle, you know, if you're wanting to make a one pot wonder. We have to season this too, of course, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. It's revolutionary up in here. The flavor profiles are insane. And just scramble the eggs. That looks real good on its own, and that's really gonna bulk up the noodling in here. The noodling. They did end up completely sticking together, so these are really hot still. I did run them underwater some more, and I'm just gonna mix that in. I'm gonna throw the eggs in. It's made with love, you people, made with love. Then the sauce, just dump that right over top. We may need more sauce in here. I guess we'll reevaluate once it's all mixed. Crud, I put some limes on there, and I'm throwing some peanuts on here. I'm gonna warm it up before I serve it to get the sauce going. And I don't know why anyone would serve it with limes like that. Maybe I'm just gonna squeeze them on there. But for presentation purposes, for you, I did that. Did it for you. Also threw some toasted peanuts on there too, can you tell? Delicious. It's not as dark of a sauce. Maybe once I don't know, maybe, was I supposed to put it in a saucepan or something? But here's dinner. Looks good nonetheless. It smells good, probably tastes good. I guess I should take a taste test and let you know. Oh, here's what I'm missing. Cilantro. There we go. Now it's all better. There, that's it. That is it. That's what I was missing.
This one was delicious. I feel like I've made pad thai in the past with similar ingredients, but the sauce was a little thicker. I wonder if I would have like let the sauce reduce a little bit or added like a cornstarch slurry, but it was fine all in all. It was delicious. Not just fine, it was above and beyond, but the sauce being as thin as it was, it worked out.
All right, tonight for dinner, I'm going to make something that has been on my list for a very long time, but I've never gotten around to it. It sounds delicious, Philly cheesesteak pasta. Doesn't that sound good? It's like Philly cheesesteak, yes. On a hoagie roll, meh, but pasta, you got it. It's kind of like a casserole kind of thing. So here are the ingredients that you're gonna need for the innards, and then there is some sauce to be made. Not shown is flour for the roux. Yeah, okay. So I'm sure instead of that kind of cheese, you can use Swiss. Do they have shredded Swiss? I don't know. Colby? No, not Colby. What's another kind of cheese you can use for the sauce? Like a white, mild, I don't know, use whatever the heck you want. Okay, so we've got macaroni, noodles, we have mushrooms, bell peppers, some tomato product, a Worcestershire sauce for that nice beefy flavor, onion, and then over here in the water I have my ground beef thawing out. It's thawed out now because it's been a while. So let's get started on this mise en place. First things first, I bought the pre-sliced Baby Bella, mostly because they're already like washed and good to go, and I'm lazy. But I do have to dice them up some more. I mean, I feel like this is optional to dice them again. Not again, but you know, just from the slices. If you wanted bigger chunks, leave them in, you know, just cook accordingly. If you don't have a mushroom lover in your house, it'll be easier for them to pick out that way. Conversely, if you dice them up real small, they're harder to pick out. So whatever you want. I'm gonna start dicing up my onion. And I'm gonna do a whole onion. Whenever a recipe calls for something, I just always do more, especially if it's a vegetable. I just think like, one, what am I gonna do with the rest? And two, I don't know, it'll like bulk up the dish and just taste better. Vegetables taste so good. Most vegetables taste good anyway. What's your favorite and least favorite vegetable? I think tomatoes might be my least favorite. I don't know, hold on, let me think about it. I'm just gonna take a handful of mushrooms and just like give them the old chippity chop. All right, I've got my pile of mushrooms right there. Ooh, quickly becoming one of my favorites. I love the combination of onions and peppers. Well, this water was boiling until I moved it. It's whatever. It's basically boiling water, and I'm gonna throw the noodles in, because on this burner, I'm gonna throw in the ground meat, I have beef, along with the peppers and onions. And then just mix this in. Oh, you know what else I'm gonna do? A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, until everything is cooked. Okay, this is mostly cooked, and now I'm just going to sprinkle in the mushrooms. These cook really fast. And that was 10 ounces worth of mushrooms, and I just diced them up. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt here and pepper as well, because you flavor every layer. That didn't rhyme how I thought it would. Mushrooms cook up really fast, and I don't really like overcooked mushrooms anyway, so you could pour them in the same time as everything else, but I decided to leave them to the end. Okay, that looks good, and you know it's been a day when I'm cracking open the garlic in the jar. So just add a little bit of garlic here and let that cook out. I mean, does it really? Just mix it in, really. And while we're mixing in, let's do a couple splashes of the Worcestershire sauce. It's gonna make everything nice and deep and rich and beefy, and really amp up that beefy flavor. Mix all of this in, and then I'm gonna throw it into a casserole dish. Butterfly, let me see a casserole. How are the noodles gonna fit in here? So while those noodles finish cooking, I'm gonna throw in about 3 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna make our sauce. Something so delicious about the sauce. There's something so domestic about making your own sauce. Equal parts flour, so just a few tablespoons of flour I'm gonna throw in here. I get a nice thick cheesy sauce. Just cook that flour taste out. And I'm gonna throw in 2 cups of milk. And you know the old adage, hot roux, cold milk, no chunks. Not sure what happened here. Maybe my roux was a little too chunky. We'll work that out, don't worry. The chunks are back in town. Oh crap, my noodles. All right, I got it. We're good, we're good. We're just working on our chunks. Everybody loves a good chunky sauce. Chunky sauce, chunky sauce. So I'm gonna grab the noodles. I put some aside, and I'm gonna, like, you know, just in case the kids don't love this. I'm gonna mix the noodles in with the veggies and meat. And I'm gonna throw this cheesy sauce right on top. And mix this in too. Things are getting weird over here. Honestly, I feel like I could have stopped at the veggies, meat, noodles, right? Oh crap, I think I was supposed to mix this in with the sauce. Oh well, couple handfuls of cheese going right in here. Mix this in. And then throw this in the oven, 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. I mean, who says you have to bake it? I don't know. You know me, I just follow the directions.
So once this thing cooked, the color really came out of it or came into it. It looks a million times better once it's cooked. So delicious. This was a crowd pleaser too. I feel like anything with carbs or pasta, it's always a good bet, right? The mushrooms, so good, added that extra flavor. I would say even more veggies next time if I were to make this again.
Hello, welcome to Disney. If you're like me and can't afford tickets to Disney, let alone eating inside of the park, I got you covered. I'm just kidding. Apparently, they have really good food at Disney. I wouldn't know because, my gosh, my budget does not allow. We normally pack food or just eat chicken nuggets. But if you go into the restaurants, I guess they've got some really good food. I have here pulled pork and mac and cheese. Have you ever thought of combining the two? Apparently Disney has, because they've thought of everything. If you would like to see, because I was going through Pinterest looking at Disney recipes, if you would like to see a whole compilation of like Disney recipes, that would be so fun for me to do. I wouldn't be able to compare like how it tastes, how I made a copycat recipe versus how it actually tastes, because I've never tasted the real thing, but I feel like it would be pretty good, and stuff typically tastes better at home. So, pulled pork and mac and cheese. It's revolutionary. I'm gonna throw some pulled pork in the crock pot in the beginning of the day. And I asked you a while ago if you guys had nice crock pots. The lid to this one broke. I'm hoping the other one fits on top of it. I don't know. Guys, my life is falling apart. Just one piece at a time. By the way, this pulled pork that I got from Publix, I don't even wanna tell you the price. I'm embarrassed. And it was buy one, get one free. I'm still embarrassed. But here I go showing you anyway. All right, so 2 loins in here. We have 2.5 pounds. $17, over $17. I could cry. It was buy one, get one free, so of course I got 2, but it's still like, oh my gosh, it hurts. So for the pulled pork section, these are the spices we're gonna use to make this delicious pulled pork, and I feel like this is a meal in and of itself. If you just wanna make the pulled pork and then grab some buns or bread or sweet potato, oh my gosh, it's so good on a sweet potato. I'm gonna do it tonight. Sweet potato, I love it with green beans. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Anyway, pulled pork, you need some pork, extra lean I've got going on here. I like the fat, so who the heck? That was the best price I could find. Garlic, black pepper, onion powder, chili powder, paprika, salt, and some good old barbecue sauce. I have the sugar-free, what is this? Hughes barbecue sauce? I don't know, people rave about that. And you know who has a sugar-free barbecue sauce too? The Sweet Baby Ray's. Couldn't find it at the grocery store when I went to pick this stuff up. I went to the smaller store. So this is what we're gonna throw together. I'm gonna slide these tenderloins straight in there. Ooh, so gross, so satisfying, so slippery. I probably shouldn't have my hair down with all my postpartum hair loss happening. It's like cats, gonna get hair and everything. All right, to season, we've got some salt. You can throw these on the stove top and give them a nice sear. I feel like that would probably be best, but I am at the point of like not caring right now. Salt and pepper, garlic powder. I'm gonna throw some paprika up in here. This is nice smokiness. Onion powder, gotta dump some of that in here. Ooh, chili powder, I like this. Let's kick it up. I don't know about you, but I used to make pulled pork with like just the seasoning packet, and then on the back it calls for, I think, apple cider vinegar, and I just couldn't do that. For whatever reason, that taste does not agree with me. And 2 cups, I'm gonna do the whole bottle, because that's 2 cups of barbecue sauce. I don't know about you, but raw meat never looks so good. She's beauty and she's grace. She's Miss United States. Look at that seasoning. All right, I'm gonna throw this on low. Low and slow is always the way to go. Moving on, the pulled pork is nearly done. I actually haven't checked on it. Ooh, that lid definitely doesn't fit. But that is looking mighty fine. Let's see if it is done, considering the lid doesn't fit. Yep, it's shredding apart nicely. Oh gosh, I just splashed barbecue sauce all over me. All right, I'm gonna get 2 forks going in here in a little bit. Oh gosh, I just threw some pasta in, so I'm getting this cooked up for the mac and cheese. And everyone needs just a good mac and cheese homemade recipe, simple ingredients that you probably have on hand. So we need some butter, flour to make a roux thickening cheese sauce, salt and pepper in here, a little bit of ground mustard, Parmesan cheese. We've got some triple cheddar. You can use whatever you have, literally whatever kind of cheese. Gouda is great. If you have all cheddar, that's great. Monterey Jack, throw whatever you have in because you work with what you got. I have 2 cups of milk and then some chicken stock and then of course the pasta. This is the kind I'm using, the little corkscrew dealios. So ridiculous. I just looked everywhere for my tripod. Guess where it was? The first place I looked. The first. I need to get my eyes checked. So for the sauce, I have a couple of tablespoons of butter melting in there, and I'm going to add a little bit more flour, about 3 to 4 tablespoons of flour, and then give this a whisk. Let that flour taste cook out. Okay, this is gonna be a great thick sauce. I'm also gonna add the ground mustard in here. That just gives it a little like, what's that? Salt and pepper going in. Then I'm gonna throw in 2 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock. 2 cups of milk, should be the rest of this container. Yeah, how about a little more? Are you really cooking if you don't make a mess? Cook this until it comes to a boil and then let it boil for about a minute until it's nice and thick. The noodles are done, so I'm just gonna drain these. Perfection. Came to a rolling boil. I let it cook out for about a minute. If you don't wanna go through all this rigmarole, I have a crock pot mac and cheese recipe that is pretty awesome, but it calls for a heck of a lot more cheese than this. So I'm gonna throw in a nice handful of Parmesan cheese and then 8 ounces of the other stuff. Mix this in. It's not as thick as I was expecting. Ooh, but that's nice. Take the cheese sauce and just dump it over top of the cooked noodles and just mix that in. Ooh, this is creamy and dreamy and a little watery, so I'm gonna add some more cheese. I feel like I could make this baked mac and cheese too. Just throwing it in a casserole dish, adding some breadcrumbs on top, like breadcrumbs with a little bit of butter. It's so simple, but I don't know, baking it just gives it like a whole other element of greatness. There's your mac and cheese. There it is, creamy, dreamy, mac and cheesy. I'm gonna take a little taste test. Delicious. You know what? Better than Disneyland, and there's no magic involved here. Wait, did you ever watch classic Disney, like Disney Channel original movies or Disney Channel anything, and they always made the ears? And then, oh, embarrassing. All right, let's plate it. My absolute all-time pulled pork recipe is Elyse Ellis's sweet pulled pork enchiladas. So it's an enchilada recipe, but you obviously don't have to make the enchiladas, just making the pulled pork. It's like it's a copycat, something Rio. Just, if you want to Pinterest, like pulled pork with soda or Dr. Pepper, she uses Dr. Pepper. And it is so good. There's a couple of pork recipes that I have that are really good, like not barbecue flavor. So if you're not into the barbecue, maybe try some of those. I've shared many of them here. And just because I don't like all the like huge bits, I just go in with kitchen shears and cut it up a little more. Oh my gosh, look, I didn't even notice. Ha! I'm gonna give it a taste test. That is some really great pulled pork, especially since it's like not too tangy, it's mild. I can't wait to mix it with the mac and cheese because I've never done that before. Now this has been sitting for a minute, so check out this cheese pull, whatever they call that. You know, when the cheese makes strings. All right, well, it wasn't that great, but it was when I mixed it. And since I am a professional, I have some barbecue sauce in here, some extra barbecue sauce, and I'm just gonna top it. Oh my heavens. I think that's it. I think that's the Disney magic. There it is. Heaven. Heaven on earth looks something like this. I have to show you the barbecue sauce I used too. Since it is a milder flavor, I really like this from Trader Joe's. It's the sriracha. Oh my gosh, it gives it such a kick and it is oh so delicious. There she is, something I thought I would never ever combine ever in my life. Barbecue and mac and cheese. Does this make all your dreams come true? A dream is a wish your heart makes. Do you feel like you're at Disney? When you're fat. That's enough. I'm more of a Mulan than I am a Cinderella, okay? No matter when. It's a little high. I'm here every night, folks. My family's sick of me.
Wow, someone get me on American Idol. This was one of my favorite meals of the week. It was very filling, all of the carbs. I think I just had too many carbs this week. All that pasta, but the pork was really great. And the next day I had the pork on a sweet potato.
I also feel like this pork, just took a bite, is absolutely fantastic. I love how the flavors meld together. But this pork, I don't know if it's from Publix or whatever, but it tastes so good. And then obviously the mac and, let's do the cheese string pull. Yeah, that didn't work out either. It's whatever. Mac and cheese, give me the mac and cheese. All right, today I'm going to throw together a chicken marinade. I already cut up the chicken while the baby was throwing a fit. It's been like 30 minutes. I took him on a walk. I nursed him, I put him to sleep, and here he is on top of me, acting like nothing happened. It's gonna be a really simple recipe. It's barbecue chicken skewers, but without like barbecue sauce. It's gonna be great. The flavor packed full as always. So I have like 2 really big chicken breasts cut up in here, or 2.5. I don't know, it's a lot, probably around 2 pounds. So all you need, I had all these ingredients on hand. Like, I love marinades like this. Again, I can throw it together in the lull of the day, the afternoon time, if you will. And then later in the evening, I just throw them on a skewer, put them on the grill or in the oven. George Foreman, GFG, you know, that's my favorite. And it's just a great way to go. So, few ingredients. Brown sugar is one of them. It's one of my favorites to cook with. It just gives so much flavor. I haven't made my garlic honey chicken in a really long time, and that is always a crowd pleaser. This teriyaki sauce, about 1/2 cup of this is going in. And then 1/2 cup, oh gosh, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna pop the top off of that. 1/2 cup of soy sauce. I use cocoa aminos, and really I probably do more than 1/2 cup because who is measuring these days? I'm also gonna throw in 1/2 cup of brown sugar, just one good handful. Oh gosh, my battery's dying. Let's see if I can do this before it dies on me. Just a nice splash of red wine vinegar. I'm gonna do a couple splashes in there. I really like the flavor of red wine vinegar. And then just a dot of ginger paste. This stuff packs a punch. And I just buy this in the produce section, keep it in my fridge, and I'm surprised at how much I grab it over like the dry seasoning. If you have that, obviously that's great. But fresh is always best. But I don't, you know, keep fresh on hand. I'm gonna throw in a couple bay leaves in there. That seems to give a lot of flavor. And already I can feel this thing coming together. A little bit of salt in there, a little bit of pepper, and I am going to pop a top on this. You can do this in a Ziploc bag too. And I'm just gonna mix it all together. Leave that in the fridge, let it marinate for as long as you can, at least 30 minutes, and then later today we'll finish it up. The smell of this is incredible. Just like, you know, the mixture of flavors, all these flavors together, but this very, very teriyaki sauce, that's really good too. Okay, so fun times. There's apparently a sauce to this. And it's gonna start with some garlic powder, a little splash of red wine vinegar. Here comes some pineapple juice, about 1/2 cup of this. Looks good. I've had that in the fridge for a while. I've been waiting to use it up. Couple tablespoons of brown sugar. Or soy sauce to mend all of the flavors together. Just a few tablespoons of that. Ooh, some orange juice. I don't have that, so I'm gonna do a little bit more pineapple juice. Just a couple tablespoons. Oh, 1, 2. And some ketchup. That's a fun ingredient. A good squirt of that. I'm gonna mix this. And once it comes to a bubble, I'm gonna add a little cornstarch slurry. So equal parts cornstarch and water. Throw it in here just to thicken it up. Got a nice bubble, and I am notorious for over reducing my sauces. So I'm just gonna add the cornstarch, give it a mix, take it off the heat. Oh yeah, that thickened right up. Not sure if you can tell, but I can feel it. It's much thicker. That is a nice sauce.
The sauce was great. We ended up throwing it on, like, while it was cooking, like basting, what do they call that? Basting the meat with the sauce. there's a word. I don't know, you guys. It's really early in the morning. Not that that makes a difference whether it's later if I can remember words or not. But anyway, it was good. I'm just throwing all of the chicken pieces onto the skewer. I'm sure you can just throw this onto a skillet. It would work just as well. But I feel like when you throw things on a grill, it just brings so much more flavor to it. And we have a gas grill, so that's saying a lot. If you have charcoal, that's probably extra lot. Okay, I should go back to bed. That would be nice if I could go back to bed. I paired this dish with some carrots and onions and rice. I feel like we had something else. I can't remember. So this is Alex cooking it on the grill. So simple, so delicious. Basting it. Yeah, that's got to be the right word. He's just basting it. It's good. It's good. So he's throwing that on there, and that gave it a lot of flavor. I'm sure once the chicken was cooked, if we just wanted to coat it in the sauce, that would have worked just as well. But this is the way we ended up doing it. And then this is what it looks like. Ooh, I topped it with some green onions. Delicious. Just an extra bonus of flavor. And there she is. She's beauty and she's grace. Am I right?
All right, I've just gathered all the ingredients because it's Brownie Friday, Brownie Friday over here. It's not Friday, but that's okay. Brownie Friday can happen any day of the week. We're gonna round off. I always like to include a dessert recipe. Today's is extremely unhealthy. I recently had a family dinner, and we always have themed family dinners. And this past month, it was like Texas themed foods. And you guys know in Texas, you know the theme of Texas foods. If it doesn't have lard in it, it's not tasty. And that's exactly right. So, calls for shortening. I bought this shortening just for this recipe. Oh, what am I making? Texas mud. Just like that. My sister-in-law made it, and I was like, this is the most delicious thing out of everything everyone brought. So Texas mud it is. I texted her and I said, you better send me that recipe immediately. And she came through with the recipe, even though the recipe is like bonkers. It doesn't have all of the, you know where it lists the ingredients, where it usually lists all of the ingredients? No, it lists like half of them. And then you have to, it's bonkers. Anyway, I feel like I have everything I need out. So let me show you. And you're gonna wanna make it because it is so dang good. All right, all the usual suspects except for shortening. I think you need a cup of this stuff. Shortening, cocoa powder, ooh, marshmallow cream. So this is another unsuspecting victim over here. Marshmallow cream, you need 10 ounces, but they sell it in 7 ounces. So I'm gonna see if I can get through just using 7 ounces, but I don't know, I bought 2 just in case, because who doesn't love a good marshmallow peanut butter sandwich? What are they called? There's a name for peanut butter marshmallow sandwiches. Anyway, I don't know. Sugar, flour. I brought extra sugar because I don't know if I have enough, so it only calls for white, but I brought brown as a backup. I will also need 4 eggs, pecans, butter. So let's whip it. You guys know any chance I have to bring this sucker out, I'm gonna do it because I love it so much. It's so beautiful. Let's make Texas mud. You have to say it like that too. Texas mud. I'm not sure if that's a southern accent. I'm pretty sure it's not. Texas mud. You have to kind of unhinge your jaw a little bit. Mud, mud. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. Woo! I thought I was gonna need 2 of these. No. Just one. It's 1 cup of shortening. Ooh, it's gonna be good. 2 cups of white sugar. And I don't think I'm gonna have enough. That's 1 cup. The rest with brown sugar. Just cream these 2 things together. All right, the shortening seemingly doesn't cream like butter does. So to this, I'm gonna add 4 eggs. And I'm just gonna keep that going and just hope for no shells. I'm pretty good about it. It says to do this part by hand, but why? So that's nice and groovy. Now I'm gonna add the dry ingredients. You could do this separately, whisk them together and then add, but I don't do that. It's 1 1/4 cup of flour and then 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. Wait, are these brownies? I'm gonna throw in my secret brownie ingredient, which is a little bit of instant espresso powder. It just really brings out the richness. A little bit of salt, a little bit of vanilla. And I thought this was on the top, apparently not. 1 cup of chopped pecans. These aren't chopped, should I chop these? Ugh, fine. Okay, well that's enough. I'm just gonna throw halfly chopped pecans in there and then give it a mix. I'm gonna grease the pan. You're supposed to use some kind of like baking pan, not a baking dish, like a cookie sheet. But whatever, I don't have the size they're asking for, so I'm just gonna use a 9 by 13 dish, and I'm greasing it with the skin of the shortening. You already know I have to test the batter. Salmonella, I dare you. I got a bit of pecan. Yeah, it's really good. It's not like the best thing I've ever, it's not Ghirardelli, okay? But I will go in for another lick. I'm just gonna dump it all into this pan. There's just something so magical and special about brownie night, about dessert night. I look forward to this night all week. Mud, Texas mud. All right, so now I have my oven at 325 degrees. Cook it for 45 minutes. Why? And it might take even longer since ours is a little thicker. Okay, here it is. I'm not sure if it's done. I feel like probably. Just gonna check it. That's good enough. Okay, I had it in for probably 40 minutes. Now I'm going to take the jar of marshmallow cream. They sell marshmallow fluff and they sell marshmallow cream, but I'm sure like you can use whatever you want. And it says to just, while the brownies are warm, don't cool them yet, to just spread the cream on top. And this is working out really great. Okay, well this is what they call a labor of love. I feel like, oh, puking? Okay, thanks. I feel like just plopping it and then giving it a second to kind of let the brownies warm it up. That is for the best. I'm just gonna spread it out. And 7 ounces was plenty. I mean, if you want more, you know, obviously do whatever the heck you want, but I feel like 7 ounces would definitely suffice. And there's another layer, don't you know? Of course there is. So let's whip it up. Okay, things are getting weird. Calls for a whole pound of icing. Like this is the top layer. I'm not sure my sister-in-law did this part because things are getting a little wild. 2 sticks of butter. So to the butter, I'm going to add 1/3, is this right? 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. That's what it says. A little splash of vanilla. And then 1 pound of confectioner's sugar, which I had to Google. It's 3.5 cups. Not so bad. So mix all of this together. Oh my gosh, and you need more pecans, which I just looked everywhere for. Yeah, nope, don't have any more of those. I saved a few to top it with, but definitely not a cup's worth. But I'm gonna use what I have. Okay, so I have about a handful of chopped pecans. We wanna get this all mixed in and pour it on while everything is still warm. I'm debating on how to do this. I guess this is how it looks like mud here. Ooh! Yeah, I can't remember if she had this topping on. I mean, she must have. This is what makes it so good. But hers was like white and I don't know, it wasn't like 3 separate layers. It was like, I could see white showing, you know, on the top of it. So maybe this was her second layer? You know what, I'm gonna have to call her and ask her. Isn't that the best part of getting recipes from someone? I'm sure either way. Oh, here you go. All right, and then we mix it in and just maybe the whiteness just happens to float on top. I like that look, that marbled look. I can dig it. All right, now I really like it. It looks exactly like hers. Ooh, woo! I'm game. Texas mud. I love this. I haven't even eaten it yet and I love it. It smells so good. It smells like Texas. If Texas had a scent. I'm just kidding, I've been to Texas. It does not smell like this. Put this in the fridge to cool, unless you wanna eat it warm, a la mode. Oh my gosh, would that be incredible or what? Just grab a scoop of this. I mean, I don't like ice cream, but I feel like the majority of people do. So it would be loved by many. And you know what? The amount of pecans I had, you can see them poking through up top. Everything about this is so magical. Holy, yes, this is it. This is what I've waited a month for. I'm about to eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And I wasn't even lying because it's been like a week and I just had a little piece for breakfast. I'm trying to like ration it out. So my advice to you, if you were to make this, is don't make this if you have zero self-control like I don't, because it's just so good. The layers, the top layer is like fudge. Oh my gosh, I could cry. Make this. If there is one thing you get from this video, hopefully it is this recipe. My gosh, maybe half it if you don't want to be tempted, or make sure you bring it somewhere. Oh my, it's so good.
If all else fails, buttered noodles. They were invented for a reason.
But that's it. Hope you guys got some dinner inspiration from this. Thanks for watching and hanging out. I'll see you next time. Bye.